Good morning and thank you. It is an absolute honor to be in front of the Amazon Board of Directors. As the internal sustainability group of Amazon, asking the right questions is very important to us. And the biggest thing that spurred the discussion that we've been having for the past 2 days is the fact that free shipping that's so core to our business model and something that our customers love is not actually free. In the process of getting the product to our customers, we're causing a lot of externalities that we need to keep in mind. My name is Inju and I'm with my teammates Nick Berger and Monica Kemp, and we're thrilled to talk about the ethical dilemma that we found in the process. So again, the key thing, free shipping is not actually free is what we want to focus on. As one of the largest companies on this planet, not only do we have the social responsibility to be aware of our actions, but there's also a lot of external pressures playing out in the world today. So again, things that we wanted to focus on is one, the impact that we have on the environment. Are we truly being an ethical and customer-centric company? Being customer-centric is so core to our mission. So are we actually doing that if we don't take care of the environment that our customers live in? The second aspect that we will focus on is the consumers themselves. Again, as a customer-centric company, are we being ethical if we A, aren't transparent about how the product is ending up at their doorstep, and also B, if we're not cultivating the right mindset? So we will tackle this under the environmental aspect. We'll talk about how we can reduce landfill by being smarter about the packaging that we use in all our shipments, and also how we can reduce emissions by being smarter and using better vehicles to get the package to the doorstep. On the consumer end, we'll talk about various things such as how we can get customers on board in this new revolution by encouraging them to recycle, by making sure that we don't encourage a short-term buy mindset, which causes a lot of problems with reverse logistics. So we can jump in.
So when looking at reducing the landfill, we've analyzed the process and why we found that a lot of packaging is considered excess. And I'm sure many of you have experienced situations where you receive a package from Amazon and there's way too much packaging inside, as well as the box might be perhaps too large. So what we did is we looked at the process that the product goes through to the point of being actually boxed. And we saw that the key problem here was that the picker was actually was not recommended a certain amount of packaging filler, and they were just filling it up to the box's capacity. Now, right now, Amazon has the data on both the product type that are being put into the boxes, as well as the size of the box. And we can use that data to give a recommendation to the picker as to how much quantity they should actually put in regards to packaging. So for example, socks. They're not very fragile, so perhaps they don't need packaging at all. And this is be something that is considered throughout this entire system. Additionally, we looked at the different emissions that the last mile of the logistics process has on the environment. And we saw that towards this last mile portion of it, it was extremely harmful to the environment in regards to carbon emissions. And we saw this specifically through the parcel delivery process. So our recommendation in regards to reducing these emissions, we really wanted to focus on a win-win for Amazon and for the stakeholders and the customers themselves. So we looked at using alternative modes of transportation during that last mile, things such as bike carriers and expanding our partnership with USPS can really have a large impact on how much emissions we're actually giving off into the environment. In fact, we saw that by using these alternative modes of transportation, things that significantly have less of a carbon footprint, that we're able to roughly half our carbon footprint in regards to the environment and the harm that we are doing.
So looking and considering that we are a consumer-centric company, we want to take this pioneering journey with our consumers. So first and foremost, when you are making a purchase on Amazon, you are reminded of the speed in which you can obtain your order, right? Obtain in 2 days, 1 day. And there's this focus on that speed instead of the carbon footprint that you're leaving behind. So what we'd like to do is instead suggest that we put a quantifiable number, which has been backed by MIT research, as well as including an in-group. So instead of saying you can have this item in 2 days or a given time frame, we want to put the focus on, for example, saving 400 trees with people who've also purchased this product, thus shifting the mindset and increasing transparency as to our carbon footprint. Another thing to consider is that 1/3 of e-commerce is returned. And this is quite substantial, given that 50% of luxury products are in fact returned. 20% of textured items like apparel, shoes are also returned. And this creates a very short-term buyer mindset, this materialistic mindset where you might even plan that you're going to return something before you've bought it. For example, it's the Super Bowl, and you'd like a bigger flat screen TV. And so you go on Amazon and purchase it with the full intention of returning it. Or for example, you're in high school and your senior prom is coming up. And you're not gonna wear that dress more than maybe one night, so why not return it? This is highly unethical and creates also an environmental impact as well. So we would like to reverse this behavior and encourage a more ethical solution moving forward. Lastly, as I mentioned, the packaging is a huge part of our business model. So we'd like to encourage recycling. One way we'd like to go about this is having a push notification with the type of material that it was sent out in and how we can go about recycling it. So 88% of push notifications increase user engagement, which is a highly effective model given that we are an e-commerce company and everyone has smartphones. We'd like to utilize this model to inform our consumers of their impact and include them with us on our journey.
So again, yesterday we talked about all three dimensions, the ethical, legal, and financial. So before we wrap up, we would like to re-emphasize the ethical aspect of this problem. Again, Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world, and everyone pretty much knows what Amazon does. But it is our job and social responsibility as a company that has so much impact to think about how we're doing what we do best. So that is why we didn't want to change the business model at all. Every single aspect of our solution not only is ethical, but it enhances the business model that we currently have. So nothing drastic is happening. It's small changes that we can implement starting tomorrow that will make a long-term impact. So again, ethics is all about impact. So we focused on the impact we have on the environment and our consumers. On the impact side, we looked at how can we reduce landfill, and we believe this can be easily attained with all the data Amazon has by just being smarter about what packaging that we put in for the specific product that's being delivered. In terms of reducing emissions, it's all about the last mile. So how are we navigating these really highly congested urban areas with things that are already in place? A McKinsey article talked about how the way parcels are delivered is going to change drastically within the next 5 to 10 years. So if we start right now and start thinking about how we can implement this, this is something, again, feasible and will have long-term impact on the environment. And on the consumer side, of course, consumers brought us where we are today. We have shifted the consumer mindset so much in the way that we deliver products, so we think it's possible to shift the way that they think about the impact they have on the environment as well. There has been a lot of research done about how being a first mover in the space of sustainability has so much advantage. It not only adds to the authenticity of the brand, but it's something that customers can get behind. So by making recycling easier, by just a simple push notification telling them how to recycle, by reducing the short-term buyer mindset, by offering discounts to waive the option of even wanting to return, will help our customers get in the right frame of mind when they're making purchases. And lastly, making sure that they understand the impact that they're having with each of the decisions that make in the shipping are all things that can work together cohesively to make sure that Amazon is not only growing sustainably, but also making sure that we're ethical in every single aspect of the business. Thank you so much for the opportunity.